I'm delighted to welcome today Nicki Chang-Powless, who helps health practitioners to get their shizzle in order. That's about as scientific as I can get on that topic. So welcome, Nicki.
Thank you very much for having me, Elaine.
So tell us what you do, and then we'll go into how you got to doing what you do, because it's quite specific, isn't it? It's quite niche.
It is quite specific. So what I do is I really help health professionals really up their game and attract the type of people that they really want to work with, right? Just to give you an example of, share a little bit about my story about why I do what I do is when I first started, I spent over 20 years in corporate. And then people started asking me for help with their business. And I'm sitting here going, sure, I'll help you with your business. And what I had uncovered was, even though I had started with a couple of clients because they're the ones who asked me to help them, right? And then I decided, hey, let's make this a big business. Mm-hmm. And I decided to put the open for business sign up. Mm-hmm. And I had a website and everything. And I thought, oh, this is great. They're going to come. They need all the skills that I have and all that fun stuff, right? And guess what, Elaine? They didn't come, right? And I'm sitting here going, what should I do? And then I invested in this one company and I spent $2,500. I'm in Canada, so it's Canadian dollars, to get clicks to my website. And then I'm sitting here going, I had 0 clients. And I'm sitting here going, well, something is wrong, right? And so what I did was, as I recognized that there were certain key pieces that I was missing. And without those key pieces in place, that whatever I was doing wasn't really helping, right? And, it was going to a website that wasn't engaging people to really want to take action. And that's really the key, is as a business owner, is we want people to want to work with us, whether you're a health professional or whether you're, you sell whatever products, is you want people to take action and to contact you. Wouldn't you agree with me on that, Elaine?
Absolutely. There's no point really, unless we're doing things on a voluntary basis, which I've done most of my life. So I'm now waking up to the fact that I'm running a business again, which I didn't anticipate doing, but here we are. So how did you work out what pieces were missing then when you were having these no clicks, no client situation?
So what I did is I had recognized that what really wasn't resonating with people was my message. What I was saying wasn't very clear, right? And then I had recognized that there were certain things that needed to be in place for me to get that success. And once I had that in place, things made a huge difference, because what was happening was when I left corporate, I used my retirement fund to fund my business, to at least to do the startup and to do all this marketing. And then what was happening was I'm sitting here going, the numbers are going down. Mm-hmm. And then my husband looked at the bank statement and I'm going, he didn't have to say anything, just that look on his face. And I'm going, okay, I have to make this work. And that's when I created my exclusive formula, to be able to, the systems and the content, and putting it all together in a way that really, guess what, attracts the people we want to work with. And that's what we do. There are a lot of people out there who are just shopping around. How do we really attract the right people that we want to work with? Now, I know this is a health show, so what I want to do is I want to share with you my own health journey. Is that okay?
Absolutely, yes. That was going to be the next question, because so many people that I interview, they come to do what they do because of their story, their backstory, and that's the interesting thing and the inspiring thing that people take away. If they can do it, I can do it, type of thing. So tell us why you became to niche with health practitioners.
Okay, about 7 years ago, I was really active. I was working out a lot and everything like that. And then I started to get to that point where I could barely walk. My husband looked at me and he's like, "You're like a little old lady." We would walk across the street, and you know the curb to get up onto the sidewalk? I was in pain just putting my legs up, just crossing the street. And he looked at me and he was, you have to do something. So we went to the doctor, and the doctor gave me some x-rays, and the x-rays showed that I had osteoarthritis in both knees, right? Both knees. So I was really having troubles walking. So what my doctor did, was she scheduled me in for the cortisol injection.
Oh, ouch.
I know. And I'm sitting here going, I really don't want to be going for that cortisol injection, but we're scheduled, right? And so what I did was, one of the first calls that I made was to my trainer. I said to my trainer, I said, we need to adjust the program because my doctor says I should remove the weight-bearing exercise to reduce the pressure on my knees. And he's like, no, we're not going to do that. And I was like, okay, why? And he says, this is what I want you to do. And he gave me a list of 10 items. And he says, I want you to remove these 10 items from your diet. And I'm sitting here going, oh my gosh, 10, that's an awful lot, right? So what I decided to do is I cheated. I only started with the first 3, right? I started with the first 3. I figured if the first 3 works, I don't need to worry about the last 7, right? Because that's a lot of work.
What were they? What were the first 3?
Well, the first one was gluten, which I was already fairly gluten-free, so that was easy. So the next 2 was dairy and pork.
Yeah.
So I removed the dairy and pork because the gluten was already out. And guess what? Within 1 month, I was pain-free. And I never went to that cortisol injections. I canceled the appointment. And a year later, my doctor said to me, I went for my regular checkup, and she says, oh, whatever happened to your osteoarthritis because you never went for the cortisol injection? And I said, oh, we fixed that. And the doctor looked at me and she's going, how did you fix that? And I told her, I removed, these 3 items from my diet. And she's like, was it scientifically documented somewhere? And I'm like, I don't know. It's based on this book, the Anti-Inflammatory Diet, right? And because that's what was happening, my joints were inflamed. And she says, I'm not allowed to recommend anything that hasn't been scientifically tested. And that's when I recognized that there is a whole world out there outside of the standard medicine, like standard Western medicine, that has tremendous results. We just need to find it, right? It's like so many people have these incredible solutions out there, and that can help so many people. It's just that a lot of these practitioners, they don't know how to tell their story in a way that's going to attract people to them, because they have this incredible gift. They have this incredible knowledge, but how do they get it out there for people to really understand what they do? And that's one of the keys, is the message that they have needs to be in a way that people understand, right? I've met so many health professionals where they're sitting here telling me, oh, I do this, this, and this. And I'm sitting here going, that word is this long. I have no clue whether I have that problem or not. And I don't understand you. A confused mind does not buy. And so it became my passion to be able to help health professionals to really be able to clearly articulate not only what they do, but what they can do for their clients and patients.
So you take people through a process. You mentioned that you've got a detailed process now that you've created, and I presume some of it is to do with mindset and how how the practitioners get their own minds into clarity?
Well, mindset is part of it. However, I mainly focus on the strategy portion. So it focuses on, is it okay if I share
Yeah,
with you
please do.
three
Yeah.
steps, the three steps that I take people through? So the three steps is really around, it's really from my marketing mystery to marketing mastery training. And this training is really designed around the key challenges that people have when it comes to marketing. And why don't I share with you what the challenges are, and then I'll share with you what the steps are to overcome those challenges. So the first challenge when it comes to getting clients, it's really around, out of all of the different ways to market yourself, which one is the best for you? Okay, because there's social media, there's podcasting, there's media interviews, there's blogging, there's video. Would you agree with me, Elaine, that there's a lot to choose from, right?
It's very confusing for no matter where you are, whether you're a client or whether you're a practitioner. Either way, it's confusing. People say to me, "Oh, I've sent you a message," but now it's like, well, where did you send it? Telegram, WhatsApp, Signal, email, Messenger, LinkedIn,
Smoke
Facebook.
signals,
I mean,
right?
it goes on, doesn't it? It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Morse code, right?
Yeah. Sign language, even.
I know, it's really confusing. That's one of the things that the challenges that business owners have is which ones are the best strategies for me and which one is going to get the best return on their investment. Because guess what? A lot of health practitioners, they are solopreneurs. They don't have a lot of excess time or money to waste on strategies that isn't going to work. So when you're choosing the strategy, it's really important to understand why you would choose one strategy over the other. And when you know why, then the plan that you're going to put together really makes a lot of sense, right? Because the plan, Elaine, frankly, the plan for you is not going to be the same plan for me.
Yeah.
Our businesses are different. Our target market is different. We're at different stages of our business. So it's really important to understand that, guess what? What works for one person may not work for the other. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that strategy. It just means they might be at a different place and they don't have all the right pieces for that specific strategy. And that's one of the key challenges that business owners have, health professionals have when it comes to this, is which ones should we choose and why should we choose it? So that's one of the key struggles. And the second key struggle that they have is, yes, we have the strategy now. The question is, what do we say? Have you ever been to a networking event where you get up and you do your 60-second introduction and you're sitting here looking at the Zoom room and you're going, okay, that's a whole bunch of blank faces. I have no idea whether they got what I said or not, right? And it's the same thing on your website. How come nobody's clicking on the button? The thing is do you have the right message? And is the message connecting with your audience? And that's key, because 72% of people connect with messages that speak to them.
Absolutely.
Generic messages don't work anymore, right? Because there are so many people offering the same thing, right? So weight loss, how many people do we know help people with weight loss or fitness? There are so many things, so weight loss, we're getting inundated with all these weight loss programs. Why should I work with you? And it goes deeper into that. And when we're able to understand who our ideal client is, then we're able to better create a message that will resonate with them, right? And it shows that we understand them. Let me give you an example. I remember one time I was speaking on a stage This is in person. I don't know if you remember in person
A
days,
long, long
right?
time ago. Yeah.
I know. I was one of the first times I stood on a stage and I was giving the talk on a specific subject. And then after my talk, I came off the stage, and on the break, somebody came up to me and they said to me, they said, Nicki, it was like you were in my head. You knew exactly what I was going through. Now, when we're able to make that type of an impact and that connection with them, guess what? You're going to be able to get more clients. And that's one of the keys, right? Having that message that really connects with the individual.
So working out the strategy, working out the message, two fundamental things that any business needs to do, never mind health practitioners.
Yes, yes. Now, I mentioned earlier that there are 3 steps. Remember?
Yeah.
Okay, so in our Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery program is we do go over the 3 steps. So I will share with you the steps. The first step is design your marketing master plan. That's understanding all the different ways that you can market your business and why you would choose one over the other. Okay, so that's number 1, is designing that plan. Because when we have that plan, guess what? We know we're focused, we know exactly which ones are going to work, and we're not wasting time and money. And guess what? We're going to be able to get more clients sooner. Would you agree with me on that?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
And you'll get a better return on your investment,
Yeah.
right? So that's step number 1. The second step is around deliver a powerful message to attract your ideal client. And that's about putting that base content and understanding what you're going to say. And it's like standing up in front of a networking event. And actually, you know what? I'll share with you a story. Is one of my clients, she had been going to the same networking event for years. Every month she would get up, this was in person at the time, she would get up, she would do her 60-second introduction, and she would sit down. And that was it. She didn't get a whole lot of clients from that. And she says, Nicki, networking doesn't work. And I'm sitting here going, okay, let's give it a chance, right? So what we did was we really focused on clearly honing in on who her target market was. Who did she really want to work with? Who did she passionately want to make that connection with? Then we used the system to design a 60-second introduction for her to be able to clearly articulate in 60 seconds, keeping in mind 60 seconds is not a long time, right? So what we did was the next time she went to that event, she got there, she got up, she did her 60 seconds, right? Then she sat down and she came home that night and she picked up the phone and she called me and she said, Nicki, this is the first time they asked me for my business card. That's what happens when you have a powerful message. People will be drawn to you. So it makes you, wouldn't you agree that it makes your job easier?
Of course, yeah. And it's easier said than done, except when you're in the middle of it, you're in the middle of your own forest, you can't see the wood for the trees, can you? So that's why we need people like you as a fresh pair of eyes to show health practitioners, where they're going wrong and how to guide them out of the forest.
Do you want me to share with you a secret?
What's that?
On how to get that message?
Yeah. What's your third?
Absolutely. That's not the third. This is still on the second. So
okay.
The secret to a message is really around testing it with your ideal audience. Okay. We could write the best thing possible. Okay. Just to give you an example, is I'm also the author of Putting the Pieces Together, Your Survival Guide to the First 5 Years in Business. Now, I wrote this book, but I didn't edit it. And there's a reason why I didn't edit it, because when you write something, exactly like you said, you're just too close to it. You don't see it. However, all of my programs are based on a collaborative process. So it's about being part of a community where you can test ideas off of each other and say, hey, is this resonating with you? Let me give you an example of the 60-second introduction. Is somebody will say, here's my 60-second introduction. And the group will say, one person might say, you know what? You were great up until this point, and then you lost me. Okay, that's good feedback. And then somebody else might say, you know what? You used that one word, and I don't resonate with that word. We all have different opinions and perspectives. So when you have that collaborative environment, you're going to be able to get that your message a lot more clear and make that connection much faster in that process when you have that collaborative environment. I want to share with you an analogy. Birthday cake. You like birthday cake? Yes?
No, but carry on. Bar humbug.
Okay. You might not eat, you know what? I'm not a huge cake fan, but I love this. I love the story because it gets my point across, okay? When we're baking a birthday cake for somebody, we have to bake the cake, right? We bake the cake first, and then we decorate the cake. The cake itself is our marketing content, okay? The cake itself is the marketing content. This is what we do. This is what we can do for our clients and everything like that. However, when we decorate the cake, would you not agree with me, Elaine, that how we decorate the cake for a toddler is going to be very different than my mother's 70th birthday party?
I certainly hope so, yes.
Okay, it's the same thing with our marketing message. We know what we do, and that's the cake. But the audience that we speak to will be different.
Yes, yeah.
We might offer the exact same product, but it will be different. Let me give you one example. Have you ever heard the term elevator pitch?
Yes.
Okay. For me, the word elevator pitch is very corporate-y.
Yeah, perhaps you can explain for the benefit of the listeners who don't know what an elevator pitch is, what it is.
I'll tell you in about 2 seconds because you'll know pretty darn quick what an elevator pitch is. So an elevator pitch is, for me, it's very corporate-y. But instead of saying elevator pitch, and I don't know if you noticed this earlier when I was talking, is I referred it to it as the 60-second introduction. The 60-second introduction and the elevator pitch are the exact same things. But the reason I use 60-second introduction is because I work more with heart-centered entrepreneurs. I work with health professionals. I work with healers. The word 60-second introduction makes a much stronger connection with them than the harsh word elevator pitch. But guess what? The cake is exactly the same.
Yeah, got it. Got it. So what's your third step then?
Okay,
so
that's so the first step is to create the master plan. The second step is to deliver a powerful message. The third step is to dazzle the world and get visible. So I know a lot of people are on social media, right? They're on social media. However, our circle of influence on social media is limited by the number of people that we're connected to, right? So if we have 1,000 people in our social media network, guess what? We're speaking to 1,000 people. Or are we? We're not, because Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever, they limit who sees it. So now our 1,000 might go down to, I don't know, 100, right? The thing is our circle of influence has a barrier, has a limit. The question is, how do we go beyond that limit? And to go beyond that limit so we can get better seen out there is to be able to expand our networks. And the best way to expand our networks is through speaking on stages, getting invited to interviews, because now you're speaking to a larger audience. And how we do that is to have power partners. Power partners are people who have a very similar audience as we do, who speak the same language and who can help each other grow each other's networks. And that is the third step, and that is to dazzle the world stages and grow beyond our circle of influence. So the first step is to design a marketing master plan. Second step is to deliver a powerful message. And the third step is to dazzle the world. Because you know what? Everyone listening to your podcast here or listening to the show is been put here for a reason. Everybody's been given a gift. And your responsibility is to be able to share this gift to the world. And this is the most effective way to be able to share that gift, is through these three steps. And that's design, deliver, and dazzle. And those are the three steps that we go over in Marketing Mystery to Marketing Mastery.
Brilliant. You make it sound so easy, Nicki. You have a free download document as well that you mentioned to me recently. Tell us about that.
Yes. So the download is 101 marketing ideas to get more sales. Because guess what? There are so many different ways that we can market our business. And I started writing them down. It was interesting because I started writing them down one day and I was going to go, 101 marketing ideas. And as I was writing them down, I started to go to 102, 103. So I had to change the name of the download to over 101 and not put a number. So what I did was I collected the ideas that I gathered over the last few years on the different ways that you can market your business. And I want to share this as a gift to your listeners, to your viewers, to be able to download this gift and see what some ideas that you may not have thought of for marketing your business, because the only way that you're going to be able to expand and grow your business is to be able to get out there and to get seen.
Absolutely. And in this day and age, pretty much the social media route, one way or another, has got to be a key part of the master plan, hasn't it? So yes. How do people find you, Nicki? What's your website? Okay,
my website is NCP Consulting.net. I'll say that again. It's NCP Consulting.net.
And your download is available from the website?
Yes.
Fabulous.
Yes, it is.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for taking us through your 3 steps. Sounds very, very easy, but I know that there's actually a lot of work that goes into it because each step has got multiple parts to it. But we do need people like you. So thank you so much, Nicki, for your time today.
Elaine, this is part of a 3-day program. And so I condensed it into 30 minutes. If anybody is interested in more information about the program, they can feel free to reach out to me.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And well done on your gluten, dairy and pork elimination. Just amazing. Just in 1 month you became pain-free. It's so much down to diet and lifestyle, which doctors aren't trained in. It's wrong, but that's the way it is.
I was at a convention once, and the host asked for, I think there was 1,000 people, asked the doctors to stand up in the room. And there were some doctors that stood up in the room, and he asked the doctors, when it comes to training on nutrition, how much training did you receive? And they said it was 1 course, and it was an option, an elective. Yeah. It wasn't even a compulsory course. And the thing is it is something we are putting into our body. Of course, it's going to affect us, right? And I love how all of the different practitioners have a different perspective on that. I just wish our family doctors are more open to working together with these other practitioners.
Lots of doctors have gone to the other side now, haven't they? Particularly chiropractors. Then they've always been into natural, pretty much anyway. That's the nature of their training. But there's an awful lot of MDs that are now coming over to the natural side, and it's very refreshing when that happens. Although, of course, we'll always be the butt of the big pharma, because they don't want us. They want customers. We want people to be healthy. They want customers. Anyway.
And what breaks my heart is they're screening social media and shutting people down.
Yes.
For just speaking their minds on health.
Yeah, and we have to be very careful of that. It's happened to me a few times. So, yeah, we have to be mindful of how we present ourselves as well. So thank you so much for your insights, Nicki. It's been really helpful. Just give us your website again one more time.
It's ncpconsulting.net.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Can I leave some final words for the audience?
Please do.
I know we have a lot of health professionals and healers listening to this. I want to share with you that you've been given an incredible gift, and it's your responsibility to be able to get there and to make that difference in the world, because that's what you're here to do.
Yeah.
And let's get you out there and get you seen.
Absolutely. Thank you for those words and reassurance that you're there to help us all. Thank you, Nicki Chang-Powless.
Thank you for inviting me, Elaine, today, and thank you.